Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Davis here at home, and we are ready for another math lesson. Yeah, today we're going to be focusing again on place value, and we're connecting it, as we did in our last video, with adding. We're going to be adding today, again, 1 more and 10 more. And we understand that the word more means bigger, greater, larger. So we were focusing in our last video about how we can add 1 more to a value and increase the ones position by 1, or we can add 10 more to the tens position in a number and increase that number by 10 more. We used our place value blocks to build and add. I'm going to review that activity with you, and then we're going to learn another strategy for adding 1 more and 10 more. So let's review. We started with a number, so I'm going to start with 15, and I've built that value already because that's how we started, and then I wrote it on my little handy dandy whiteboard, and I was always adding +1 first. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got all that ready. And so we were thinking about when we add 1 to a group of ones, we're going to be pulling down 1 counter and putting it with already the collection of 5. And we were also thinking about showing our work below the math problem. You know, working on math problems is not just about finding the answer, it's about mathematical thinking. And when you're showing how you solve, you can share your strategies and help other boys and girls and students who are working on math problems. You can share your strategies. So it's a really good idea to work out your math problems and show your thinking. So that's what I'm going to do. So in our last session, I was showing you the fact that in the number 15 there are 5 ones, and I'm only going to be adding 1 to the ones position. So I'm adding 5 plus 1, and I went ahead and wrote that new total of ones down, which matches this. Okay, and then I understand that that 1 in 15 is not 1, but it's 110. So I'm going to bring down that value, kind of just breaking apart, thinking about values. And now I know that 10 plus 6 is 16. 10 plus 6, 16. Therefore, 15 plus 1 can be solved, and it is also 16. Then we did that same activity, except we added 10 more. So let me just rearrange here, do some erasing. And one of our strategies, one of the ways that we were thinking about place value too, is we're going to actually be breaking up 15. When we add 10 more, we can break up 15 and pull out our group of 10, and that's going to help us when we're putting together and adding another group of 10. So I'm going to go ahead and use a number bond, just like I did in our last session, and I'm going to go ahead and break up 15 into 2 parts, 10, 110, and then 5 ones. Okay, because I know that I'm going to be adding now 10 more. So let me go ahead and write 15 plus 10 equals, and let me go ahead and add 10 more. Now pull that down, okay? Now I'm going to pull this 10 and this 10 and add them together, just like I did on that chart. And again, I'm showing my thinking. I'm doing a multi-step way of solving. So I'm just writing all that down like a true mathematician. I know that 10 plus 10 is 20. And now I'm going to take 20 and pull it together, back together with those 5 ones. I broke up. Now I'm going to put it back together and add 20 plus 5, just like my board shows. And I know that's 25. And then I can also solve 15 plus 10. And you know, when I'm writing this out, I'm really thinking about equality. I'm thinking about 15 plus 10 equals 25, or 25 is the same as 15 plus 10. And I'm also thinking about another way to show 25. Something else that's equal to 25 is 20 plus 5. So as we're working our math out, we can see relationships. That's really cool. So that's what we worked on in our last video. Now I want to do another strategy with you. This one I think is pretty fun and helpful. It's kind of a shortcut. I'm going to get out another tool. Now, these place value blocks are fantastic, but I also like to use another tool for helping me add 1 more and 10 more. Remember our 100 chart? We used these a couple times when we were at school. I'm going to use this today so that I can add 1 more and I can add 10 more. Now, when I'm looking at this chart, I really want to kind of just review and get familiar with it, because if you look closely at this chart, you will spy some patterns. Yeah, this 100 chart is set up in a very organized way. It's a very useful tool if you understand how it works. You know what? I'm thinking about, when I look at it, first off, I'm thinking that there are lots of little squares, and in each square there is a number. And I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you noticed that each number is going in a sequence. There's 1 and 2 and 3 all the way to 10, and then 11, 12, 13 all the way to 20. Just keeps going in order all the way down. This chart starts at 1 and it ends at 100. So that's the first pattern I'm definitely noticing. And I notice that 1 bigger is going in a row each time. You know what? This reminds me of something we were using before our break. Remember that 100 flat? This is a 100 flat. The 100 flat contains 100 counters all glued together. This 100 chart is exactly the same. These are little squares glued together. And if I think about it, I might even notice that at the end of each row, I'm noticing a group of 10s. That makes me think about this 10s rod. If there's 10 spaces, it's just like a 10s rod that I'm turning on its side. Each row on this 100 chart is a collection or a group of 10 counters. So when I understand that, this really becomes a helpful tool when I'm trying to either find a number or add using my 100 chart. So that's definitely a pattern I want to keep in mind. All right, now let's think about adding 1 more, because if you look at this 100 chart, all the numbers are in order, and I know you saw that every time you go forward, you're getting 1 bigger or 1 more. So you can go anywhere on this chart, locate a number, and jump 1 space forward, and you would be able to locate the number that is 1 more than that number. So let's do that. Let's practice that. I'm going to hold up the number 15. You know, I did it with blocks, but now I'm going to use the 100 chart. So I'm going to find the number 15. And if I understand how my chart works, I can locate the team numbers, and there's 15. Now, I'm going to jump 1 more block or 1 more space forward. All right, I landed on 16. 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 is 1 more than 15. And I'm noticing when I look at the ones position that 16 is 1 more because 5 plus 1 is 6. The ones position changed or got bigger by 1, 1, but the tens position didn't change at all because we're only adding 1 unit or 1, 1. All right, let's do a few more. Let's locate, because you can go anywhere on this chart and find one more. Let's do 33. So I'm going down here. I noticed that the 20s and then the 30s. Okay, I'm following my pattern. There's 33. Now I'm going to jump one more. And I'm at 34. One more than 33 is 34. And notice that in the ones position, the ones position got bigger by 1, 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. And 30 plus 4 is 34. Okay, let's do another one. Let's try 51. You're going to see, anywhere we go, we can just hop one space forward. This is a really handy tool and easy. There's 51. I'm going to jump one space forward. 1 more than 51 is 52. The ones position has increased by 1, 1 because 1 plus 1 is 2. And 50 plus 2 is 52. So 51 plus 1 is 52. Let's do 2 more. Okay, then go to 28. Go to the row that has the 20s. There's 28. I'm going to go forward one jump. 1 more than 28 is 29. 8 plus 1 is 9. So that one's position increased by 1, 1. Tens position stays the same. We're not increasing the tens position at all because we're just adding 1, 1. All right, let's do one more. This one's going to be fun. 90. I'm going to go down my tens column because I know 90's right there. That's a quick way to find 90 because I'm thinking about patterns. There's 90. Oh, wait a minute. There's not a number here. So, oh yeah, that's right. All the rows are grouped in groups of 10. And if I'm counting, this is the number I will end up if I'm starting here and I'm going 10 more. Oh, I have to jump down to the next row. There's 91. So 90 plus 1 is 91. 0 ones and 1, 1 is 1, 1. 90 plus 1, 91. Oh, that's interesting. But now let's think about it. There's some more patterns that we can think about on this 100 chart, and that's where we're going to get help adding 10 more. If we think about this 100 chart in a different way, well, we can use it as a tool to help us find 10 more. Now, this time, I'm thinking about my tens rod being straight, being vertical. And if I look on this 100 chart and I do it in a vertical fashion, I notice something different about my numbers. Look closely. What do you notice about each box? Right. Well, I noticed a few things, and you decide if it's what you noticed too. I'll share mine, and then you nod at me if you thought the same thing. The first thing I noticed was I'm just going to go down the first column. If I'm looking at the first column, I noticed it starts with 1, and then 11, and then 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, all the way down to 91. And I'm realizing that there's a lot of ones in that column. And I noticed that all of the ones in that column are in the ones position. Every time I go down, the ones position stays the same. But did you notice that? Nod at me if you did. But I noticed something else. I'm looking at that same column and I'm looking at the tens position, and I noticed that every time I go down to the next box, below a box, that the tens position is getting bigger by 110. There's 10, there's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Oh yeah, that's right. If each row contains 10, then if we go down, it's 10 more each time. Oh, that comes in handy. So now I realize anywhere I go on this 100 board, the number right below it is automatically 10 more. Oh, that's helpful. Okay, well, let's test that out. Let's grab those same numbers and try 10 more. Okay, there's that 15 again. So I'm going to locate it on this 100 chart. There it is. This time I'm not going to jump forward one. I'm actually going to go one jump below that number, because every time I go below, that's another group of 10 or 10 more. Now let's take a look. There's 15. So we're saying that 10 more than 15 is 25. 15 plus 10 is 25. Well, let's take a look at the place values. The 5 ones is not changing, because we know when we add a group of 10, the ones position will stay the same. Now let's look at the tens position. If we add another 10 to this 110, oh, that's right, it will give me 2 tens. 2 tens is 20, and 20 plus 5 is 25. Well, that one worked, but let's keep testing this out. Now let's see if we can go anywhere and get the same result. Okay, let's try 33. I'm going to the 30s. Okay, there's 33. If I hop underneath 33, I would be at 43. So we're saying that 33 plus 10 is 43. Let's take a look at the place values to help us. So in the ones position, there's no change. Let's look at the tens position. We have 3 tens plus 1 more 10 would give us 4 tens, or 40, and 40 plus 3 is 43. Okay, let's keep going. Let's practice a few more, finding 10 more on our 100 chart. Okay, it's always great to add new strategies to the old ones we've been working on. Okay, let's find 51. Here it is. If I go below it, there's 61. So 51 plus 10 is 61. Let's test that out. The ones position didn't change, but the tens position did increase by 110, because 50 plus 10 is 60, and 60 plus 1 is 61. So 10 more than 51 is 61. Let's do 2 more. There's 28. I'm going to find it on the chart here. There it is. I'm going to go below it. There's 38, so 28 plus 10 should be 38, but let's check out those place values. Okay, that ones position didn't change, still 8 ones. The tens position did increase by 110, because 20 plus 10 is 30, and then if I take 30 and add 8 to it, it's 38. So 10 more than 28 is 38. Now let's do my favorite, 90. Yeah, I like this one, and I know you do too. I'm going to scoot right on down here to 90. This one's easy. If I go right below it, it's 100. And you know, if we're counting by tens and we get to 90, 10 more than 90 is 100. Wow, that was not only fun, but it was easy. And of course, now we've gained a new strategy for finding 1 more and 10 more. So here's what I want you to work on your own. I want you to work on 2 sheets today. One is going to review this strategy, and then one is going to be reviewing the 100 chart strategy for 1 more and 10 more. So let's take a look at our first sheet, and I will be sending these to your parents and family members with your learning video, so they can just download this. And you can see there are some math problems. They'll either be +1 or +10. And here's the cool thing. You won't have to grab those place value blocks, because they're already on here. They're already drawn on there for you. So you've already got your tools. So use those if you need to. So you're going to complete these 8. And then grab some crayon colors. You're going to need a yellow and a pink. This one says, of course, we've got our 100 chart because that's what we practiced today. This one says, read the directions and color the number that is 1 more or 10 more. You're going to be coloring 1 more in yellow to identify those, and then you're going to color 10 more in pink. So I'll know the difference when I look at your chart. The directions are down here. There's 10 directions. So they'll be worded like this. The first one says, color 1 more than 25. So again, you're not coloring 25. You're going to find 25, just like I did, locate that number, and then you're going to be jumping 1 more, which is this way horizontally, so 25 plus 1. If it says 10 more, you're going to locate that number and go the number below it because that's where you're going to find 10 more on this 100 chart. All right, as always, do your best work and take a picture of what you've completed so I can see all the awesome practice you're getting. And as always, have a good one. Until next time, keep up that learning.